What it do, Niner fam? Well, when the Hall of Famer Patrick Willis lets you know you doing your thing, you doing your thing. Now, and it must be a tradition. You know, we've always had good linebackers. And it was a plus when Singletary came to the Niners. Like I said, I gave this story before, but when Singletary came to the Niners, you got to remember they had elevated him to head coach. First, he was, he was coaching for a couple of games, and then they made him the head coach. But when he was coaching, like I said, it was Patrick Willis and Takeo Spikes. And then it went from, because he made Takeo Spikes go and sit down, but he remembered Navarre Bowman. You know, as a rookie, he was over there balling. So he said, I want to put Navarre Bowman and Patrick Willis together. And the rest is history. Now, granted, Singletary couldn't coach worth a damn, but he knew linebacker play. That's what he did know. And, you see, like I said, Navarre Bowman right now, he's the linebacker coach for the Chargers. Following Harbaugh, which I thought, Patrick Willis is still around the Niners organization. Patrick Willis is over there chilling with Fred Warner right now, working out, doing all type of stuff. Now, this is what Patrick Willis says. He says, the 49ers have had some dogs at linebacker over the years. To have one of the best in the game right now, lining up next to a backer who's leveling up every snap, which he talking about winners. Sheesh, that's special. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Willis is not going to sit and lie to you, man. And he see it from a veteran, Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. Because when you talking about linebacker play, of course you're going to have Ray Lewis at the top. But Ray Lewis was always was speaking very highly on Patrick Willis. Well, that's why Patrick Willis is in the Hall of Fame. That's why I wanted to get him that Super Bowl. If for nobody else, Patrick Willis and Frank Gore deserved that Super Bowl when we lost to the Ravens. That's another story. I'll go on about that. But because they worked hard. They were drafted by the Niners, and they worked hard, to get to where they was at. And through all the changes, they were still beasting. And, Willis would have stayed a little bit longer, but when they made Harbaugh leave, he was like, I'm out of here. Bowman had just got there, basically. He was a rookie back, maybe a couple years before Harbaugh came. So when Willis was like, I'm cool, this was it for me. Bowman still had a few more years in him. Even though he broke his leg and all that type stuff, but Bowman still had a couple. So now in present time, you got Fred Warner, which Patrick Willis is always sitting there chopping it up with him, giving him advice, whatever he need. Same thing Singletary was doing for him. But you got to remember, Saleh the one that gave Fred Warner his chance. So once he did, that's why they all respond to Saleh like they do. And then now, D. Winters, you got to remember, the year before, D. Winters he was still figuring it out. He was just figuring it out. Now, D. Winters, he balling. Go look at the stats, man. D. Winters is all over the field. He balling. It is what it is. But the crazy part about it, Nick Martin. If you guys watched during preseason, he messed up on one preseason game. After that, he was all over the field. Nick Martin was balling the whole preseason. All over the field. They couldn't, you have to mention his name every single time. And he ain't even really playing yet. So we got depth at that linebacker position. Depth. So it'll never end. See, that's what I like about the Niners. We always gonna have them linebackers that's gonna lock it down. So, like I said, that's OG Patrick Willis saying this. Let me know what y'all think, man. Leave it in the comments. Peace. I'm out of here.